Hello all of you lovely individuals, and welcome back to another video for the day. We're going back into r/AmITheDevil, and I've been hearing all of the feedback for like the storytime format stuffs, and you guys seem to like it, so it's more motivation to do more videos like this one. So if you guys would like to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up the wholesome internet discussions, because that engagement very much does help out the videos and the algorithm. And if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. Am I the a-hole for not canceling my guys trip? I, 35M, and my wife, 31F, recently began construction on a new home. Thankfully, everything has gone smoothly, and we are nearing the completion of the home. Our closing date is set, and we are scheduled to get the keys to the brand new house in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I have a scheduled vacation the week of our closing date. This trip of mine is a guy's trip that is annual. Every year, the guys and I rent a cabin and spend a Wednesday to Sunday board gaming. Our closing day falls on the Friday of my trip. What I plan to do is drive home to complete the closing and sign all of the paperwork. It's only about an hour drive, and then drive back to rejoin the rest of my group. The group trip is planned well in advance, before we ever began construction of our home, and has long since been paid for. Here's my issue. My wife wants me to go on my trip on Wednesday, and then leave my trip Friday, canceling the rest of the vacation, and not returning to the rest of the group. She wants me to be present for the move-in. While I completely understand not wanting to move into a house by yourself, I have already gotten this taken care of. I have arranged for a friend of mine who owns a moving company to complete the moving of our stuff into the new home. I've also arranged for TVs to be hung, mirrors to be hung, curtains to be hung, internet to be installed, etc. All of this is scheduled. My wife is very angry with me that I won't cancel my trip, and I think it is unreasonable for her to ask me to cancel. This is the one opportunity I get every year to get together with my guy friends and do something we love, and it is important to me. I have tried to explain that to her, but she says I am leaving her hanging. Of course it sucks our closing was scheduled in the middle of the trip, but that isn't something I could help. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, especially with that last sentence, dude. I can understand going on a trip with the homies is something that is important to you, but you had, like you said, you had this planned well in advance. You could have scheduled the closing for, like, the weekend after, if anything. The fact that it lines up, unfortunately, means that your wife was actually being lenient with that whole, like, hey, you should come home once the closing happens so you can help with the move-in process, because it's kind of something that you need to be there for as like a good moral standing situation. I think that the whole like, hey, coming home early from your trip was a pretty good idea, because you still get to have that experience with your friends, albeit not for as long as you were used to, but that shouldn't be anything you should try to, like, contest. It does look like they actually had a good ending to it all. You talked it over, so this was the update that followed after that story. I will post an update in the comments here, so I don't have to get an update post-approved. I spoke with my wife about some things that you all mentioned here. Her main concern is moving into the new home and being overwhelmed with the amount of work that will need to be done. It is important to note that this isn't our first home, nor is it our first build. We have gone through all of this before, and all of the packing and organizing has already taken place. She is also concerned should any warranty issues arise, i.e. leaks or something along those lines. My wife is a very independent woman and isn't worried about staying in the home alone. I asked if it was about me prioritizing her and being present for the move. She stated that she wanted our home to be a priority to me, which of course I understand, and it is. Those of you stating our marriage is over and are doom and gloom, I understand with limited context and the barrier of the internet why this might be your initial reaction. But my wife and I are a very strong marriage, and I adore this woman more than anything. She is the most perfect human on the planet, and we do just about everything together. Typically, we communicate very well, but I admit I wasn't seeing some of the things that you all mentioned here because I was man-mad and not getting my way, and I posted out of frustration. But I did gain some valuable insight, so kudos and thank you. After our conversation and listening to my wife and reading some of the posts here, we have decided that I will come home on Friday to assist with the move and organizing following our closing. I will be present for anything and everything during the move. And then after everything is moved in, she is fine with me going back to my trip unless there are other things that need to be done or that we didn't get finished in the day. In which case I will cancel the remainder of my trip so that I can be present and help with anything unforeseen that might pop up. We both think that this is a reasonable compromise. I double asked what she needed from me and what her expectations were, and this was her solution. All is right in the world again, so we can all sleep soundly tonight. Stuff like this I really do like is when, all actually has a good ending, because I know r/AmITheDevil is usually, it's Am I the A-hole, but it always is the person posting is horrible. But every once in a while, you'll get something that actually has a good ending to it all, so this stuff like that makes me feel pretty good. I want to leave my 3 mentally ill children from a prior marriage with their father. I am overwhelmed. I am 36. I married a terrible narc, and in this relationship from 17 to 30 years of age, I had 4 children. I regret it deeply. I didn't at the time until I grew up and realized how bad and controlled I was from the narc, who was also a PA. Our encounters were so infrequent, I laughed at needing birth control a few times. If I would be years apart, I accepted responsibility that they were born, but they all turned out to be like their father. Their father has ADHD, and his parents' mother is severely mentally ill. My son is almost 18 now and has Asperger's autism and beats up his room over video games. He has choked me and hit me and shoved me around when I tried to talk to him about the violence from the games. He is homosexual and very withdrawn socially, and he makes you think that he could become the next Redacted. He scares me, to be honest. His father won't help me getting him into counseling, and shrugs off his attacks, and even once said that I deserved it for opening his door while he was raging on a video game to try to calm him down and make sure he wasn't hurting himself or anything else. He slams holes in his walls at times. My 15-year-old has a learning disability and low-end IQ. She doesn't clean her room and is a slob. She steals from me in anything she can take, from jewelry, clothing, makeup, to even my snacks that I try to keep for myself, which consist of fizzy water. The only thing I covet is my fizzy water / body armors, and she takes everything. I have to lock my doors. She causes trouble at schools with boys. She has been to a mental hospital for how she has spoken to a school counselor, and she's had us investigated because she does terrible stuff on her phone. She has an IEP, but she sees no value in school. My 11-year-old has ADHD. My 11-year-old has ADHD. She doesn't stop talking, can't, and sits still. She is sweeter and the most easiest to get along with. I am thankful for her, except she can have her streaks, but she's tolerable. She doesn't do much bad, but she can overeat if she's bored, so I have to watch everything I keep at home, as she is in the 98th percentile for her height and weight. This is manageable. She enjoys sports. If it weren't for her, this would be an utter purgatory, and I feel bad for her. Her older sister is very bad to her and hits her and screams obscenely at her. Now she is immature for her age and can draw on herself and on the walls, etc., but she has a chance. I have her on a 504 plan at school. My 9-year-old has autism and ADHD. He is a high-functioning, but today at the doctor's office started sucking and biting himself over a routine change. He is very hard to handle. He's trying to always leave the home. He says everyone hates him. He is violent and tries to break things. He is all around difficult and highly destructive and unstable. We have been getting some help and wins with the school. He will finally get special education this upcoming school year, and I've been fighting to get him into ABA and on Social Security. He has a speech issue also. It's just overwhelming. Before my children were really noticeable as mentally unwell, when I was 30, I entered a new marriage. We had a family despite me having kids already. We have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a newborn girl. They have to grow up in this BS with these mentally ill kids. The autistic 9-year-old attacks my toddler if he doesn't like what he's doing, or he gouges my 5-year-old. He's very violent. The older 2 teens are intimidating, and the 17-year-old even calls my new baby a B-word sometimes. The father of my first 4 children desires to stream video games and ignores his children and their needs. He is little help. This has put all of this on me. My husband and I live at doctors and therapists. We take the 15-year-old twice a week to allergy shots. We take the 11-year-old to the orthodontist. She has a skeletal jaw deformity requiring braces. And we take the 8-year-old to therapy, and my husband had to camp outside the mental hospital when the 15-year-old went as an outpatient. Her therapy was 6 hours a day, but the commute to the facility there was 2 hours away, so it was easier to camp. Their father does little to nothing. I want to send the father his 3 children. I'll keep my 11-year-old. I want him and the other ones, especially his 9-year-old son with autism. I can't handle him, especially, and I feel like I'm hurting my other kids and their lives and development by all of the mental illnesses that the other kids have. My other kids are normally developed there, so is no doubt that they're up to this. They are like night and day. They were no speech delays, they're playing very well and have interest that they enjoy things. My other kids never were normal kids. I do feel bad for them, but I feel worse for my youngest who are growing up in this nightmare. Some days my husband and I can't even work. We are so wound up in doctors for these other kids. We have become slaves in a way to their care and constant maintenance. They do not clean and ruin and destroy my home to the point that I've gotten rid of about everything besides basic things. It's no way to live. I know I'm terrible for wanting to leave and to send them off to their dad for good, but I can't live this much longer. I can't hold it together. Alright, so let me get this straight. You have 4 kids with one person, don't want to be around them anymore, so you go and you start a new relationship with somebody else and have 3 more kids, meanwhile wondering why taking care of all these kids is a bit, difficult. And way to go blaming the video games for the violence. So what is the video game? Is it Grand Theft Auto, a very violent video game of the sort that everybody jumps on the train to blame for violence? Or is it something else, like friggin' Ratchet and Clank? Even the people in the comments stating that they might have initially been on your side until you had 3 more kids with the second person, which it doesn't make sense for you to be doing that. The solution to having bad children is not to have more children. Would I be the a-hole if I refused to take care of my partner's child and ask him not to take her in? Throwaway account because a few colleagues know my account. English not my first language. Me, 43F, and my partner, 40M, have been together for 1.5 years, living together in the last 6 months, but we know each other for 20 years, and he just moved away 4 years ago and moved back before we started dating. My rental got sold a year ago, and the new owner increased the rent and decided he's not going to allow my dogs. My boyfriend offered to move into his house. It's closer to my job, and it has a shady backyard for my pups, and we are really good living together. I know he's even planning to propose. He talked with his cousin a few weeks ago, and I overheard it. Now to the issue. 3 weeks ago, his ex-FWB, 35-ish F, contacted him, and long story short, he has a 1-year-old daughter, and the baby mama is going to jail for at least 2 years. Baby mama's plan was that her mom, baby's grandma, would take care of the kid, but she broke her hip. According to baby mama, the CPS deemed the grandma can't be the guardian of the child, and if she can't find another family member, the kid goes into foster care. We went there that day, and she agreed to a DNA test, and we got the results back yesterday. He immediately called his lawyer to start the process of adding his name to the birth certificate. I stupidly said that I'm here for him, and helped as I can, but, emotionally. He just had proof that he has a kid. Last night, my cousin and wife came to our place, and they actually started planning who could help with that. Cousin's wife works at a private daycare and offered a free place there. They offered baby supplies, and he's gonna come in the weekend to paint and make a nursery of the unused room. What was supposed to be my office. He can go for paternity leave, and his job offered a part-time contract for him. But that means every week in 2 days, he would work 20 hours, one day of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then one day of 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. In the 2 days, I would be the one who picks up the kid from daycare and be with her until 10 to 11 p.m., depends on the traffic. I can't do that. I was thinking of hiring a nanny, but it would be weird to have a stranger in our home those late hours. Would I be the a-hole if I ask him to not take the child in? So let me get this straight. You move into your boyfriend's place, your boyfriend finds out that they have a kid, and you don't want the boyfriend to have their kid in his house. Is that what I'm hearing here, ma'am? Because the way things are definitely being stated is that you are living under his roof, and your biggest issue with having the kid is that there's somebody has to be taking care of the kid, and oh no, my office, right? I stopped moving out of the way for women, and it's been shockingly liberating. My whole life, I danced like a circus monkey to make way for women in public spaces, until I realized that they blatantly expect men to do this, like it's some kind of innate privilege they were born with. And men moving out of the way should be the default street etiquette, while they don't even have to move their shoulder. When walking on a very narrow sidewalk or pathways, I noticed that women automatically claim the middle of the sidewalk, or the safest side, forcing you to literally jump into the road just inches away from moving cars. In supermarkets/stores, they always expect you to go around them, even when you are the one pushing a full trolley, and all they are carrying is a carton of milk and 3 bananas. Older women, 40 plus, just stop in the middle of the aisle and block the whole way with their big menopausal butts. I have been alive for 36 years and lived in 3 different countries. Well, you definitely don't type like that. With very different cultures, and I've never seen men behave like that, unless they were disabled or extremely old, and they are very apologetic about it. Now I don't give a frick, and it's been fun as heck. When a woman is walking towards me, I increase my pace and look her dead in the face. It's hilarious how their survival instincts kick in and they jump out of the way at the last second. If I'm in a supermarket and I see them blocking the aisle, I just bump my trolley into them and say, "Oh, sorry love, I didn't see you just standing there blocking the way." The look of shock and entitlement on their faces when they realize that you are not treating them like they're some kind of royalty is priceless. Men, stop being women's servants just because, oh, that's how you were raised. They don't own public space just because they were born with a V, and chivalry in this age of equality is modern day redacted. Yeah, I don't know if I could say that word. Drizzle drizzle. Edit. All of the people calling me an incel and gay are cute. I don't think you guys realize how you're doing nothing but to prove my point. Calling someone misogynistic while simultaneously being homophobic and reducing women's value to as objects will never not be funny to me. Yeah, I'm gonna take a while just to say you found the one outlier out of the group, the bad apple, and you're trying to ruin the bunch by blasting them on the internet, labeling the whole lot as such. Because I'm pretty certain that everywhere in the world, you walk on the same side of the road that you drive your car on, and if you happen to have 3 people taking up the entirety of the thing, you go to your side of the thing, and the sidewalk, and everybody else happens to carry on their merry way. And you know for a fact, dude here acts like the same type of dude that would walk with his lats fully extended out. Like if you've ever been to the gym and see somebody looks like they're trying to be the biggest person in the animal kingdom as possible, that type of invisible lat syndrome. Just a little bit of a nice tip and all, it helps to be common courtesy-ish. If you and somebody else happen to go to a door at the exact same time and it's a swinging outwards door, whoever is the one walking through the door going outwards, they get the first go. That's at least how that's worked for me. I wouldn't open the door and then stop them, making them have to back up a little bit because I'm coming through. But with that, that is going to have to be with the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye!